I'm excited. The one that came today was the one I was happiest about. So
We were just walking through Target and there was like a buy one get one on something. And I was like, I'm gonna get one for me and one for Luke. So I got said thing. So just kind of spur of the moment.
that's hot.
Buy one, get one 50% off. So yeah, I got it. Whatever. Both of them I could give you,
It's
but
socks.
Taylor's
You get one sock.
both of them I could give you. But one of them is more you and one of them is kind of like more me. So Taylor's like, just keep them for yourself. And I was like, all right. It's a chocolate bar, so I ate half. I'm gonna save it when I
And
see
now
you
you
next.
have to buy it from me. Oh,
Yeah.
no. All right. Okay, so I'll just bring like $5 over next time I see you, and just I'll give you the $5. You can give me half the chocolate bar.
Yeah.
You buy
Yeah.
one, they got a half off.
Yeah.
What a deal!
Let's
Oh,
go.
I guess we should probably start the damn thing. Welcome to the Glaziar Gambol
I don't have any of
podcast.
my signage. I have no idea where any of it is. But oh, here, hold on. White or black? White or black?
Black.
Black in the season of Sam. For season of Sam.
Oh yeah, true. Look at the
Pages.
presents all behind me too.
Look at these special effects.
Oh my gosh, dude! Don't no. Oh.
All right, there's
Nice.
that.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mine is my old job, so my shirt is. Yeah.
Toby's a free elf.
I drew that.
Did you?
Yeah, and then they had it printed onto the thing, and they had to have a friend do it because it violated copyright.
Good. Good. Great.
It was
Great.
too similar to the real thing. I was like, yeah, my drawing's too similar to the real thing. It's so good.
Exactly. That's why you're such a good like nude artist.
Right. I've had a lot of time magnifying glasses, searching over the form of the male body.
Down to the hair.
Yeah, each individual strand. Yeah.
Down to
Especially
the follicle.
straighten the legs, hands on the
Right.
ankles. I could draw that pose in my sleep.
What
Anyway,
we got in
welcome
store for
everyone.
what do we got in store for everyone today?
Today, general topic, general discussion that I'd like to have with the audience as well as us. Avatar, huge, right?
Huge.
Avatar's been a huge thing. Sixth fastest movie to reach a billion, break a billion in
Sure.
comparison to like Top Gun, which was like the biggest movie of the year so far. Took it 42 days to reach a billion. It took Avatar like 14.
Right.
So Avatar's having tons of success. We're seeing a few movies that are getting success in theaters, and we're seeing things like Black Adam. Like Black Adam, did it have success? Because that was the whole thing. Is like it, and not the books they said were fudged.
What do you classify as success too? Because success can mean success means to like Warner Brothers means like, oh, we made money. But
Right.
success to like us means like is an enjoyable movie. So like, you know what I mean? Like Black Adam was a success for us, I guess.
Right, because it was
So
enjoyable, but
right.
the thing is like, and they were talking about how it was like a $500 million
Right.
budget. So the fact that
Right.
it made 600 million, if it only made 100 million, that wasn't good enough for them, or something along those
Right.
lines. So it's like, but how do you make a movie like that and not release it in theaters? Because it's like, oh, if people aren't going to go see it in theaters, you can't just stop making all these movies, especially like you can't have the only big budget movies be Marvel movies.
Right.
So then you have a movie like Avatar and it's successful and people are like, okay, well, there could be other big budget. Does it have to be visually just perfection in order for you to have to go see it? Like, does the visuals mean more
Sure.
than the story or anything like that? Or what's the solution? So I wanted to ask the audience, everybody's opinion. Do you think that movies should stick with the like don't stream, Do you think
Because
that they should like not go into theaters at all?
it used to be in theaters for like 90 days, 3 months probably,
Right.
right? And then it would go to DVD, and that'd be like the huge thing. It's like, oh, you can come buy it on DVD.
And you had so long to see it in theater.
Right.
Like if you didn't see it, it was like it's all right. It's
Like
still
the
in
next
theaters.
block, yeah, the next blockbuster that would come out, you'd be like, oh, what, like,
This is still out,
it's still in here? Yeah, it'd be like one person in the theater. You know what I mean?
right?
So,
They get like 2 show times, and then on
right,
Thursday.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So they're
Uh,
still there, but now that doesn't happen. Now it's like now the I feel like movies are in theaters for like a month tops.
right,
It just feels
yeah.
like they're in a month, and then they go streaming service right away. They don't even go to DVD. And then when it's available on DVD, sometimes it's even streaming service for 24 hours before they release it in stores.
I used to buy DVDs.
I still have.
I
Look, I mean, you can see them.
right,
This is one of my. I have more than one bookshelf
right.
of DVDs.
Yeah, I used to buy them all the time, but now I look up, hey, you want to watch a movie? We should watch this movie. Let me see what it's streaming on and
Yeah,
see if we own one of those streaming services. Or like on Amazon, like, oh, I could buy it on Amazon for $4 and watch it for 3 days. I got 3 days to watch it. So,
yeah.
um, yeah, I don't know. That's definitely like has definitely changed since then. And now there's like a million streaming services too.
So
Like I wish they would all like consolidate,
let's
but
consider the opposite effect. So we're thinking of, Avatar, some things that are Top Gun, things that have had a lot of success. Even Black Adam made money
right.
at that high budget. Let's go to the opposite. Like movies like Morbius. Okay. Should Morbius have been like what would Morbius's success, how would have been viewed on streaming? Because it kind of got its fame from being so terrible. Would it still have that?
Unpopular opinion, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. People just hate Jared Leto.
They hate Jared Leto,
Yeah, it's not that bad. I think it's just the lack of Sony not knowing what they're doing with their universe. Anyway,
yeah.
I don't
Sony's
want to
just
go
as
into
bad as
Marvel.
Warner
It's
Brothers.
not
That's
necessarily like we have like some expertise in like Marvel and DC or whatever, so like it's hard not to talk about it when we get a chance.
right.
But so if Morbius went straight to a streaming service, is what you're asking? Like, with the success of it,
Would it have been more successful? Would it have been a bigger flop if they would have released it?
I think it's weird because you think of like Netflix or HBO Max or Amazon as like the premier like straight to streaming service.
Right.
And so I think the most recent example I can use is like Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, which was it obviously wasn't theaters, it was like a Netflix original.
Pretty sure it
And
wasn't
that
theaters though, right?
was it? I don't
I'm pretty
know.
sure they're doing like a special release of it in theaters.
So and is that to just get more buzz, or is it like primarily just the streaming service as like the main outlet? Because like that was one where it was like the second most watched movie release of all time for it. So
Yeah, man, it came out on Netflix September 10th, and it was in theaters for 1 week. It took a limited theatrical run.
yeah, so I don't know. They're doing both, but like that was one of like I didn't know it was in theaters. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
knew it was going to be coming out on Netflix eventually,
And like
but
another movie that nobody knew, Strange World, one of
yeah,
Disney's new animated movies, and
yeah,
nobody knew it existed. And when it came onto streaming, it was one of the most watched, one of the most streamed movies in
yeah.
its first 28 and 24 hours.
I think
Is it the consumer is the problem, or how are they going to be able to make that money back that they're missing from theaters?
I think it's tough from a Disney standpoint, because when it comes to Marvel movies, and this is really the only thing that like it actually impacts, maybe Avatar to a certain extent, but you need to go see the movie early so that things don't get spoiled for you. And I think that's why Marvel will always be successful in theaters, is because people want to see it and not get it ruined. And like they can't wait 3 months before it comes onto a streaming service because they're going to know everything that goes on in the movie anyway. So I think in regards to like Marvel or Disney/Marvel, whatever, they're always going to be successful if it gets to uh, the theaters.
So
I
that
know, like,
then it makes it feel like they have a monopoly on theaters, like theater showings.
right? I mean, Disney's a monopoly in itself, right? Like when they
Right.
bought
That's what
Fox, it's like
right.
they
And so are
they
you
own
leaning
they own
more into
Avatar
that?
too. You know what I mean? Like they own Avatar too. So
Right.
um, they own 4 out of the top like 5 movies of all time, probably more. So
So then it's like Marvel and then some DC movies that are gonna be still in theaters, but horror movies
well,
around
for another
Halloween.
instance is Babylon. Like
Yeah.
the movie Babylon came out. It has some big names: Margot Robbie, someone else that I know is popular. But they're all in it. But apparently, it needed like 250 million to make a profit. And like
Right.
the first theatrical weekend, which was like Friday to like
It
mid
made like
Sunday,
20 some.
yeah, it was like the opening night. The opening night was like 5 mil, and everyone's like, "Oh shit!" Like
Right. And
we
so,
spent
so what do
250. But
what
I
do
knew
those
nothing
movies
about
do?
Babel. Like I knew nothing about it. Like I knew Margot Robbie was in it, I guess, but like
And then I saw some people saying that it was advertised all over their social medias like TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. And I was like, I never once got it recommended.
yeah. Like
So
one movie that I think that's going to come out and go into theaters and be very successful is Oppenheimer. Because
yeah,
like
Oppenheimer looks
Oppenheimer's
good.
is massive cast. Same with Knives Out, even. Like that's how I knew about it, is like it's got so many big names in
Oh,
it.
it
And
has
I've
half of Hollywood in it.
it really does.
Yep.
And so like Knives Out or Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery, I know those actors. And so like when following like Marvel or DC or any other like shows I like that have those actors, they're gonna pop up and I'm gonna be like, oh, they're gonna be in Knives Out, or oh, they're gonna be in Oppenheimer. And so I'm gonna know about these movies
Hmm.
that like, but I didn't know like Knives Out was gonna be in theaters. I know Oppenheimer's gonna be in theaters. So
Well, there's
yeah,
another like movie series to me that I think of when it comes to, people tend to know about it. They hear about it every single release. They talk about it. Because like Jurassic World Dominion did well,
right,
but I've heard that that was a terrible movie. The series I'm thinking of is Fast and the Furious.
right,
Just to let the audience know, I have seen part of the first one and I haven't watched a single second of another one.
sure,
Um,
sure.
so I think the next one I believe is like Fast 10.
Yeah.
I believe the next one's like Fast 10. And
Bro, I think they're on like 12 at this point.
um and when it comes out, it's probably gonna come out into like a theatrical release. Every time they bring somebody on, they bring on like another
Right.
celebrity. They bring on like whoever is one of the hottest celebrities now because that's the only way they can still encourage people to come in.
Sure. And
And
then
it's
they're
just
like, what crazy shit can we do this time?
right.
Like,
Like Vin Diesel
what
wants
is
to
the
go
most
to space,
unrealistic
or
thing? Well, driving upside down. Let's do it.
yeah. And
Okay.
there was
All
that
right.
whole like crossover potential. They wanted to talk about like having dinosaurs from Jurassic Park or like Jurassic World.
It's
Hey,
universal.
yeah, so it's like Jurassic World.
Okay.
Those dinosaurs were able to like they'd still be living in the world and have Fast and the Furious have dinosaurs.
Uh, I mean, they could do, let's go back in time.
So
We've
right,
got family. Like,
right. And so it's like that sort of movie. They're gonna as that budget of those movies come up and the quality continues to just sink.
right.
Nobody like those aren't that's not gonna make a profit. Like you can assume now the Fast 10 is gonna have like at least a $200 million, $250 million budget.
That's probably
And
like
that's all
average for
Vin
that.
Diesel's contract that he gives himself. And
Yeah.
then
He's got family.
they if they do what Black Adam did, where they had about a $250 million budget, but then spent another 250 million on advertising.
Marketing. Yeah, I know. Like it was huge when Brie Larson was cast in Fast 10. Like he's gonna be like Dominic Toretto's long lost sister or something
Right.
like that. It's just something. Let's get a big name and just make a connection randomly.
And there was
Like
something about like Gal Gadot being the villain.
yeah, Gal Gadot's back. Like she didn't die or something like that.
Yeah.
It's because they had the dude from Tokyo Drift come back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that was a big crossover because Tokyo Drift had none of the original cast from 1 or 2. But then they had like the guy from Tokyo Drift, like he like was dead, like he was in the bottom of a car wreck and then the car blew up, but then like he showed up in the Fast 10 or the
Of course
Fast
he
and the
did. Of
Furious series, and
course he
he's
did.
like, oh, he's back.
So
Like,
that movie, that sort of movie, how are they supposed to still find success in theaters? And what are these movies supposed to do for streaming? Like the $29.99 thing for like having people pay for it for a month before they can watch it for free.
sure,
I thought that was like the best way they can handle it. But I
sure.
think my solution, we've done a lot of just like talking about like story wise. My solution would be to run both in a sense. Like you run right now, I would run your movies in theaters longer. I
How do
think
you feel about the Black Widow release? Because that was
I think
both, right? Like,
anything around like the everything delayed due to COVID, it's hard to judge.
but like, did you
Uh,
like the like paid streaming?
yeah, I did. Like I thought having access to go see it in theaters if I wanted, but also pay $29.99. And at the time, theaters were still pretty much empty, but you could still go
Sure,
see it.
right.
I think if they did that, say Black Adam came out, and if we wanted, we could have gone to see it in theaters. Avatar right now, you could see it in theaters, or maybe people have a nice TV and they can watch it at home.
So yeah, like the
It's
positives of that is like you can make your own snacks. You know what I mean? So like you're not
exactly,
paying concessions, but you're still paying probably over ticket value just to view it in the luxury of your own home.
and that's
So
what I was, and that's one of the things I did want to talk about is the theaters are the people that I want to keep. I would like still theaters to exist because I like theaters.
right.
So you bring back more classic movies, I think. I think you have classic movies or movies that have been successful. Like, who wouldn't want to watch Lord of the Rings in theaters again? Probably wouldn't cost
All
as
three
much.
movies director cut,
Director's
extended
cut in
cut.
a row, one ticket. But like, you can have it pay. You can even make it like 30. You can probably do what they do with the streaming service price subscription right now. Every year, it kind of goes up by $1 or
Right.
two.
Right.
Eventually, we'll all be paying like $45 a month for the ad
But we
version.
haven't been paying attention, so it's like
Right.
it is what it
Yeah.
is, right?
And you could have it start at the $29.99, and maybe next year it's $34.99, and then maybe it's like
Sure.
$39.99 to see them.
Right.
So yeah, you're paying more than the ticket price, but the theaters themselves, a lot of them have more. Like the theater we usually go to has axe throwing.
Yeah.
Um, there's ones that have like arcades, they have
Believe it or not, there's
restaurants.
people in the axe throwing too. Like
I know
there's
that's the weirdest part.
what?
But sometimes they have like full running restaurants. Like the one that is closest to my house has a restaurant attached to it. You can order from the restaurant and have the restaurant food delivered to
Yeah,
watching
or
your
you can
meal.
just go to Endgame and get asked if this is your pizza like 58 times.
I get asked at least once per movie. Did you order this? Like, what does that say about me when they just assume I'm the dude who ordered the food? Like, oh, excuse me, fat ass, did you order the pizza? Like,
Because you're like
as I'm already elbow deep in my popcorn and the movie hasn't started yet. Yeah, like yes, excuse me,
scooping out
sir.
your popcorn with your hand and you like
Yes,
got a
you
box
have
of
some
candy.
popcorn tucked in your chin, sir. Yep, not that chin, the other one. Yeah.
Did you order this or not?
Did, did you order this? Right.
A
Just
big gulp.
and I always tell them no, but I'm getting to the point where I'm just gonna be like, yeah. Did you remember the jalapeno poppers too?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be like, oh, what is it? Oh, what is that exactly? The buffalo chicken pizza. Look at me, look at you. Yeah, that's ours.
No, I didn't order that. He did. He
Yeah.
did. And we just split the
Or it could just
pizza.
be the couple next to us that's like, this isn't right.
We're sitting in the right spot, and she's just pissed that she says we have her seats.
Yeah.
But like those restaurants, those fail. Those like gaming areas, arcades kind of fail without the movies being there, unless you have just the blockbusters and stuff. And like, I feel like that's not a good enough solution. I do think running them side by side, you still get the people that get that theater experience. And
Sure.
overall, you might get that cheaper or about that same exact price range if you
Sure.
stay at home versus if you go to the theater. But I that's what I would do. And then I think the theaters themselves should try to run like you're like a reason to stay. So like, yeah, the arcade keeps you there, yeah, the restaurant keeps you there, but overall you're there to see the movie. I think add things that encourage you to spend longer time and maybe go to a second movie. So overall reduce the price of the like tickets by a severe chunk, but turn that arcade into a gaming cafe where people you like Marvel guys absolutely are going to be like, yeah, I 100% like play video games.
Right.
So like you have them go there, you go to a movie, you go to see the bright like new Marvel movie, you hang out at the video game cafe, and then maybe there's a double feature. Maybe there's like a double feature where you do something like Deadpool and have a movie that has a different version. Maybe
Sure.
there's a double feature and it's that second one that has the second credit scene.
Right.
You
Sure.
encourage movie people to come to the movies. Maybe there's a Ant-Man 3 is coming out.
Sure.
Ant-Man 1 and 2 are available for you to see in theater throughout the day. Like, I know these are kind of basic solutions, but I feel like encouraging them to be there longer and then working together with it's your own streaming service.
Right.
If
Yeah.
overall they're paying a little bit more at home, it's kind of like how all these businesses have realized if your employees want to work from home, you might as well let them work from home because you're overall in the end getting like a better worker,
Sure.
even though it's not what you want to do as the company. Like as the company, you want everybody to have to go to the theater.
Right.
But if you're able to get the money out of people while having them be at home, even though they're willing to pay a little bit more, like why not do it?
Right.
And so yeah, I just like overall my general question is, do you think they should go straight to be streaming available, or should there be a delay from theater to streaming?
I
Because
think
50% of
if
the viewers are pirated on streaming.
so so like let's use Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania that's coming up.
Okay.
Um would that specific movie have the same effect viewing it at home or in the theater? Because I feel like that movie I'm gonna want to see in theaters.
Right. I
And
feel
that's
that
just
way about Avatar. I feel that way but I don't feel that way about Black Panther. They didn't advertise that it was going to be this visual spectacular anything.
right,
It was going to be just a story that you could
right.
process. And they said it was going to be heavy. Some people might prefer to do that at home
Yeah,
so that they
they
can
don't want to
cry.
cry in public, right?
Right.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, like that's like that specific movie. It's tough because you don't know like how big or how like perceived a movie will be. But like that Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania to me is something I definitely want to view in theaters because I think like Jonathan Major's impact is going to be that much
Yeah.
more
I think a
captivating and a
lot of people want to
bigger
see him.
thing.
Because
So
Loki reached a lot of people that were beyond the normal Marvel fan base. A lot of people were new viewers of Marvel were watching Loki.
right,
Loki is where Jonathan Majors came in. So where you introduce him next is going to be that connection to Loki. You're bringing in viewers to Ant-Man that might not have been there for Ant-Man 1 and 2
right,
because they're there to see, wow, let's see what He Who Remains. Oh wait, it's not He
right,
Who Remains. Like,
right,
let's see what he does now.
right.
And I think Guardians is one of those things too that appeals to a lot of people that aren't Marvel fans.
Yeah,
And that's another one coming out that I think is going to do really well. And that it's a space movie. Why wouldn't you put it in theaters? It's going to be bright
yeah,
colors. But then,
yeah.
what's the average size of a American home TV? Like I want to say
Right.
probably like 30 inches. If I
Right.
had
A
to assume.
32 is like the cheapest one, like cheapest TV
You
you can get or
usually, yeah,
something.
it's like good bang for your buck. It usually fits in most rooms. Like if you only
Right.
have a kitchen space, like a space in your kitchen is the only space in your whole house for a TV, 32 could still fit there. I would
Right.
assume it's probably about 32, but a lot of people own really large TVs, 70
Right.
inches. I
It's
got
to compensate, like you and I, it's to compensate.
absolutely, absolutely. Like the idea of 7 inches sounds unfathomable, let alone 77.
Right. You're right in that 32, that 3.2 range.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yep,
yeah.
yeah, definitely two sounds really familiar. Um, Well, I just spoke to a guy the other day that he gave away his 70-inch TV because he just got one that was like 85 inches to go in the same spot.
At that point, I would just have a projector screen. Like I would just try to get a projector.
Right. And this guy was elderly. And I was like, I wanted to be like, how did you put that up? Like,
Right.
there's no way you put that up by yourself. Like, you hobbled in here, dude. Like, what the hell?
Mm.
There's no way. And so, like, but that guy, he definitely doesn't need to see it in theaters. Like, even Avatar is
Right.
it's gonna feel about the same on that big of a TV.
Sure.
And how
Right.
much of America has a big enough TV where they feel like, oh, I'm immersed in it already. I don't
Right.
need to
Right.
go to see it in theaters.
And a lot of things kind of like add to that experience. Surround sound, what kind of like seating you have,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of factors that you can control at home almost to make like a movie watching experience that much better. So I can see the difference for them. Personally, I like
I love the
we
theater.
didn't
I
like
love
yeah, but here like you and I with Black Widow, we weren't that excited for it,
right.
but it was a very good experience. Like just
Because we got to watch it at
chilling on my
home.
bed, right? Yeah,
Right. Lying on your bed together next to the
right,
cats.
right. Yeah, it was fun to
The
just kind of
only
and
thing I didn't
we could
enjoy
like
about Black
pause it
Widow
and be
was I
like, oh,
had
I gotta
that
go.
yellow Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
Because like that pineapple or like that,
yeah.
yeah, that terrible Mountain Dew banana, something.
I
Yeah,
think it
that
was pineapple.
it
I
was
think,
really
but
bad. That was the worst part about that whole thing.
yeah, but it was nice because you could like, oh crap, like I gotta let the dog out or something. You can just pause it. You can't
Yeah,
pause like
when
you
the
have to go to the
pizza,
bathroom. If you got to
when
go
the
to the bathroom, like
right, and James Cameron's response when people said they didn't want to take a break, he said, "Go see the movie again in theaters."
yeah,
Like people
yeah,
don't like they can't do that. But if you the way it was working on Disney Plus and those sorts of things, if you paid for it, you had it all the way up until it was released.
right.
So if
So
I wanted to see it again, I could. If I wanted to pause, rewind. Wait, what did they say? Hey, zoom in here.
yeah,
Especially for like Marvel people, pause here. Let's see
yeah,
everything on the
we got to get
screen.
this Easter
Next
egg.
frame, next
What does that
frame.
license plate say? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's
Where's
the
the Pizza
positives.
Planet truck?
There is positives to streaming at home, but like it's just not the same experience as like seeing it in a theater. Like Star Wars,
And we
another
keep
Disney
using that
product,
word experience.
experience.
I think theaters have to make it a experience, not just for the movie. Like
Right,
they're like, oh, we'll give you bigger chairs and higher quality food. But
right,
it's like, no, no, no. We need it beyond the movie. Like it needs to feel like you want to be there,
right.
not like this would be so much better at home.
Yeah, yeah,
Like have a full gas station available inside
yeah.
because that's where we're
That's
getting our
smart.
candy
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly. Are your pockets rustling? Nope.
No. Like 7-Eleven partner with Imagine or
Right,
AMC or whatever, all any of those theaters that exist now,
right,
and sell your snacks there. Maybe at a slight premium, but maybe a nice little halfway point.
right. The big gulp. Imagine bringing a big gulp in there or something
Oh
like
my
that. Paying
gosh!
99 cents, you can refill that thing
You go
going
to the
in.
and then you bring that same big gulp into the gaming arena or into
Yeah,
the arcade.
yeah, yeah. You're thinking now, not an axe throwing thing.
Not an axe throwing thing. I can't believe that shit is popular.
I don't
Like the
know.
bar, it's next to the here. Everybody, here's a bunch of alcohol. Go throw some axes.
Right.
It's just a
Yeah.
bad concept.
Yeah.
It only works because we're just in a very rural,
I don't
like,
think it works.
but
I
there's
don't.
always people there.
The last two times we went, but every other time it's like I can't do a cricket noise. But
I can, but my mic doesn't usually pick it up.
sure.
It usually only catches like one or two like cheeps, and it's like
Yeah.
no, you don't get to hear
Yeah.
the full chirp.
You don't get the experience.
Right. You don't get the experience. So overall, my response would be it's as most things in capitalism, the big business has to understand that the customer is the one that overall needs the best experience, and they will willingly give you as much money as you want when you make it seem like everything's about them. So when you tell them it's available day one to stream, you can give it 24 hours in theater if you want. But I think it's released simultaneously. Things like Avatar, even if you had it at home, I think releasing an Avatar wouldn't take releasing Avatar as streaming as well as theater that it has right now would barely take away from the theater revenue. If
Wasn't
anything, it would just
wasn't
be more revenue for the movie total.
wasn't Black Widow basically a 50-50 split?
Yeah. Yep.
So, and the Thursday sale, granted, it was pandemic, people wanted to get out to the movies, but the Thursday sales were pretty good too
Right.
for Black Widow. So
You could assume like half of those people that watched it from home now would have watched it in theater. So it's like 75% are probably going to the theater while 25% are probably going to stay home.
right.
I think is a fair
Right.
assumption.
And
for
here's the
releases.
thing for like, so like my girlfriend does like she likes Marvel movies, but she doesn't always want to go to the theater with mainly because it's me, you, Mike, right? It's like we're the boys, right? We're out,
We
we're
done
cracking
boys, yeah.
jokes, we them boys. Yeah, hold up. No, so like Black Widow is something where like I would have gone to see Black Widow, but then like Thor: Love and Thunder, this exact scenario. Thor: Love and Thunder, we and you went to go see. But then like we waited until it released on Disney Plus, and then me and my girlfriend watched it.
Right.
So like there were scenarios where I was like, if I were to go out to a
That
movie,
happened
I
with
thought it
me
was
with
really good.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I went out and I went and I enjoyed a movie, but I really wanted my girlfriend to see it. Like I would be like, hey, let's order this movie, let's watch this movie.
And some
So
of them are
that was like
so
a double-edged
good
sword, yeah.
that
So
you want to see them a second time.
right,
Like when I left Shang-Chi, I wanted to go see it again.
right, sure,
So like but I wanted to watch it at home.
right,
Like I've already got the theater experience. I wanted to watch
right,
it at home where I could pay closer attention to certain things and
sure,
pause if I needed to. And then my wife could watch it because she didn't come to theater.
right.
I don't know. I think release it simultaneously, make it the
I think
experience
that's a
in
good,
theater,
yeah.
and you get
You
movies
can
like
up the
Babylon where you
price.
can advertise now that it failed on opening release, but you're advertising it constantly and even having maybe advertisements that it was a flop in theaters. But for those who didn't want to go see it in theaters, it is available for streaming here. Like
Right,
imagine if that Babylon was available to stream
sure,
now while it was
right,
failing in theaters.
right.
Then
Yeah,
you have
people would be
people that
like,
are
"Oh,
watching it just because
why
of the
didn't people
music.
go see it?" Yeah, that's why. Like,
Exactly.
I'm
And
sure it's not a bad movie. I think it's just knew nothing about it. I knew nothing about it.
Same with
So
Strange World.
yeah,
Yeah,
right,
I guarantee that if they just did it all together, I feel like it would just work.
sure,
And it's better
yeah,
than just keeping and releasing and failing and only having Disney
right,
movies be successful.
yeah. That's like the big ticket movies. I agree.
Yeah. What do you think? People listening and watching, do you think they should go in streaming only? Do you think theaters are dead? Is the theater dead? Are we witnessing the end of an era? They said that about records. Records have never been more popular. They're selling more records than when records were the only way to listen to music.
Yeah, everyone wants a record player though. Record players are cool.
Exactly. That's what like
It's like, how
people.
does the put a little needle? You just put a little needle on a disc, and it's like, like doesn't make any sense.
Needles don't make sound.
Yeah, it's whack. So
So
whack.
are theaters dead? What can theaters do because we want to keep theaters alive?
I
What can the
think
streaming
theaters
services do? And what can
now,
the movie makers do? And what
the
can the actors
pandemic,
do? Can the actors take pay cuts?
the
The actors
pandemic
don't need to make
did
200
ruin
million.
things, but for some places that have like 17 theaters, I think that's probably too overboard now.
Right.
Like I don't know, maybe 10 isn't. I don't know. I don't know how to like. I have no idea, but I
You
just feel
save
like
that space where you were going to put extra theaters and you put something that a jump park with trampolines.
right, yeah,
Like you have to do something else besides the movie now.
yeah.
Either that or the movie theater's dead. Movies are just you're only gonna see like everything
Personally,
unless it has Disney on it, it's not gonna make a
I
positive
think that
profit.
some theaters should get rid of like the sheer number. It's like, say some place has 20 theaters.
Uh-huh.
What I would do is I would get rid of half of them, and I would put in like a drive-in theater.
That'd be sweet. I was just talking at work today about how I wish there was a modern form of a drive-in, and it would probably be a lot different than the old school drive-ins where it was just not like no rules. You just kind of
Right.
showed up and paid. But like
Everyone,
now you would have to do like actual parking spots. On exiting, you'd have to make sure that people were like leaving in an orderly fashion.
yeah.
So you'd have to have like a modern form of a drive-in like that. But if you did, you could make the drive-in work nowadays.
Sure.
Have plugins available both for electric cars, but also for like people that want to charge their phone but not have their car running.
Yeah. Yeah.
You would have to do something. It would. This is why it's not our job to do so. But I do care enough where, if my local theater asked for a $50 donation, like, if we can get everybody to donate $50, we can afford this. I'd probably donate to my local theater because I care
Sure.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah, you
I
get
would like to know how everybody else
4
feels,
free
'cause-
tickets or something. I don't know. They could cop you something. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Yeah. I feel like they're asking for so much, and like theaters are asking you for so much, but not giving enough back. So
Yeah.
to say they're offering or they're functioning at such a loss means that there's
Yeah.
the business is wrong somewhere.
Well, yeah. I mean, if the concessions were actually affordable too, that would help. But
Right. Like, does that mean that the movies are charging them too much? There's some sort of disconnect. And then does that lead back to, do the actors, producers, directors, are they all taking way too big of a cut?
Right.
What do you think? Which avenue do you think is causing the biggest problem? Is it the salaries of the workers? Is it the cost of advertising? Is it the concession prices and those sorts of things, ticket prices? Is it not wanting to drive, not wanting to be in public? Is it simply the pros of being at home are better than going to the theater?
See, like the positives of like watching a movie at home is you don't have to wear pants. You and I do that at the theater anyway.
And every time we record.
Yeah. So there's really not a difference.
I got my baby carrot just chilling.
Just chilling.
It's just, yeah. What's up? It's just chilling.
What's up? Can't do that at the angle.
God,
that's funny.
There it is.
It's tough, yeah, because you like hands in it. You like bend your hand. You have two.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Anyway, thanks all for watching, listening, liking, subscribing, following, sharing, posting, blogging, vlogging, purchasing, click everything. Thanks for doing all that. This is the Glaziar Gambol podcast. You all look great today. GG.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. Have no regrets, yeah, I'm tired of my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to be in debt. Been